Wanted to introduce everybody to the BANKO technique. Hopefully people incorporate it into their uh, training runs and different programs and such like that. Um, I know a lot of people were into hill repeats, which I am as well. Um, but there's one thing that people really don't think about is actually running the pitch of a hill. This helps you out a little bit, getting those muscles built up so you can do hills a little bit better. And then even incorporates itself into like the roads or like say cross country courses or just uh, technical terrain or just trails in general. This technique will help you with all that because it helps build those little um, stabilizer muscles and ligaments, gets them a little bit stronger. So you're not just going out on a really hard technical trail and beating yourself up a little bit. It's sort of also like using a stability ball and standing on that, but taking it outside. So this is the BANKO technique for running. As you see in my yard here, I got a nice yard. It's a nice big yard from end to end here. I'm a little bit in from the far side, but it's about 0.07 miles straight out. I think my whole yard's like a quarter mile if I go like all four corners, because the way it L's a little bit. But anyway, enough of that. But as you see here in the video, it's pitched down, and that's what I'm concentrating on here now is the pitch of a hill. So a hill repeats, you're running up a hill or down a hill, but the BANKO technique, you're actually running the pitch of a hill. Obviously, I mean, my yard's obviously a good example of that, but you might want to run like a dike or something like that. You really can't use stairs because you're not really getting a pitch. But if you find a nice road section that's flat, you should be able to get a pitch on that as well. But that's going to be a little bit harder on your legs and your knees and your joints. Whereas if you're actually doing it in a grass or on it like a dirt terrain, it's going to be a lot easier and it's going to help you build a little bit more. Because when I say about road, it's going to beat you up a little bit more just because road doesn't give. It gives that little flexibility that you do on like a grass or dirt surface. But anyway, a good road will have like a cup or cusp to it, so the rain goes off of it and doesn't like puddle in the middle. But to find a nice flat stretch, you're gonna have to go out and back on it. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So that's why I say find a nice yard or like a dike, something like that you could actually use, or just a nice part of a trail where you can run back and forth. So you're using both legs and building them up. Because if you just ran like a rail trail for a while and it has like a little bit of an angle, you're not really getting that benefit to it. Whereas like here I could run, like 0.7 out. It's probably going to be more 0.05, like if I'm going to do it in the yard, because I'm not going to go end to end. But so I'm going to be going out one way, working one leg and the muscles a certain way, and then on the way back I'm using the other leg and certain muscles the other way. Just something neat that I came up with. Again, it helps build that stabilizer muscles and ligaments in your legs, because it's I don't know how to really say it, but you're not on even ground, which if you're doing any type of trail running, cross-country racing, anything like that, you're not really getting that effect if you're on a track or road. So this helps you build up a little bit without actually getting into that really technical part. You're building your base first. And again, this is not only for trail running or cross-country running, but it helps with road running as well, building your muscles up. Or if you're coming back from an injury, it helps you build yourself back up to where you were. And what I like about my yard and grass, I'm going to use my yard as an example, obviously, for the most part, but there's little divots as well in my yard. My yard's not perfect, so I might step a little bit, hit a little bit of divot. So I'm not just running across straight, flat grass. I got a little bit of movement and wave to it as well as I'm running the pitch, which also helps benefit me a little bit, getting my muscles built up, stabilized as well. But I think this would actually really be good for beginners and like high school kids too, building up in the summer or spring, before cross country season, because they're working on their muscles, so they're going to be able to go a little bit faster, because obviously cross country courses, you're running a lot more on grass than you are over rocks and boulders and stuff like that, like us trail runners are. So this is actually a good technique for cross country kids um, to actually build themselves up for cross country season. Just another training method. Again, I call this the BANKO technique because it plays off my last name, and also thought it'd be kind of neat and weird because it's like pitch of a hill, so like bank of a hill. But whatever. I'm not really. I already did my run today, so this is gonna be a little bit goofy. So don't be making fun of my running form. But just an example. I'm just gonna go out, like 10 yards and then come back. So nothing fancy. I'm just gonna jog out. And jog back. I'm going to do this a bunch of times, maybe do a mile or two, at least when I start out, then build up maybe like 3 or 4, but I really ain't going to do more than that. Just trying to get those muscles built up. I'm not trying to overtax them too much, at least in the beginning. Now, if you want to add a little bit more resistance to it, or if you build yourself up for a couple weeks and you feel like you can do a little bit more, but it's not really as challenging, by all means, throw on a weight vest. I've done that a few times. I've thrown on a backpack, got my ruck out. I did it that way as well, going back and forth. Now with my ruck, I just basically walked back and forth, building my muscles up that way with a ruck. Just because it helps keep building your stabilizers up a little bit more. Because with that extra weight on it, you're adjusting your form and stuff like that. So I don't really want to run too much on it, with it on. But with a weight vest, I do jog a little bit more and run a little bit more, do a couple sprints with it on, compared to just jogging back and forth, like once I build myself back up. But I also have to watch when I do that, again, because my yard's not level, and I do have a couple little like divots in it that could really like twist an ankle. So it's good training as well. Get your trail vision working and energized as well, because if you're running on grass, like with my yard, since there's divots and stuff like that, it helps build your trail vision up a little bit. Because let's be honest, if you're just doing like rail trails or road running, one of the next steps would be to build your like muscles up a little bit and stabilizers if you're going to go out and start doing some trails. So this is a good way to do that without getting hurt, and building yourself up for those trail races. Again, it's all about building yourself up, and adding this to a running program or coming back from an injury, just help yourself take those next steps. But I always see people running hill repeats. Like that's one of my go-tos for trail running, is running hills and stuff like that. But if you're doing any type of trail racing at all, the trails are always pitched. And I was like, all right, how can I help get myself ahead a little bit, prepare for that? So that's why I came up with the BANKO technique, just running in my yard back and forth on the pitch of a hill. Again, as you see, between the two rows of trees here, I got a nice little pitch. It does get a little bit steeper in some parts of my yard, but I'm in the upper part, which is where I usually do it. But you got that nice pitch to it, going downhill. You don't need nothing too crazy where it's like really steep down, like straight up and down. That probably would be more counterproductive than anything. But we'll just say like a 15-foot span. You just get a couple of nice degrees, like you would on like an access road if you're trail running, or just a smooth out trail, like a lot of like the Lower Highlands hiking trail and stuff like that, as an example. Or like state game lands and DCNR trails in PA, like where they're actually like roads instead of like hardcore trails. This is one of those things that will actually build you up, get you prepared for that situation as well, while not completely taxing your body and destroying it while you're in that build-up phase. I think it also helps with, like, again, with your ankles, your knees, your hip flexors, and just your general form when you're starting out trail racing or building yourself back up for injury. Maybe I'm weird that this technique hasn't really been utilized yet, but I did some Google searches, I did some YouTube stuff, and I had nobody really talking about running the pitch of the hill before. So that's why I'm coining it the BANKO technique, because I'm going to call myself the founder of it. Maybe if somebody else came up with it, hey, point me in the right direction, but right now I'm going to call it after myself. But I think personally it's helped me, like early season training or late season training, where I'm going from like summer races to fall races, when I tend to mix things back up, or just wanting to add a little bit something different to my routine, where maybe I've been doing a lot of road races, and I know I got some trails coming up. So instead of going out and hitting hardcore trails and tearing my body up, like the first couple times I'm on trails again, like this helps me with doing that, so I'm prepared. So let me know what you think. Hopefully incorporate it into your training. I think it's really good, a really good technique. That's why I came up with it. It won't hurt you. The only thing it will do is make you better and take you to the next step.